Again, my name's Gabe Zollner. You know, this morning I caught a little bit of Fox News, and Martha McCallum was talking about the war hero, you know? Yeah, Senator Lame Brain Johnny McCain, the songbird at a Hanoi Hilton. And more people need to understand what that really means, you know? And I can't even remember how many videos on Senator Johnny McCain. I think it's got to be close to 50. That's 5 with a 0. And I really hope that people reach out to him and let them know that they know that he is not, nor was he ever, a war hero. You know, his father and his grandfather probably would disassociate themselves, if they could, from Johnny McCain. He has the same name as his grandfather, as his father. And his father was a war hero. Yeah, he was actually commander of the entire Pacific Fleet. Now, where do you think Lame Brain Johnny McCain stood out of a class of, I think it was 998 midshipmen when he graduated? He was 4th. I believe he was 4th. 4th from the end. Yeah. You know what's amazing is that, and I've made mention of this before, he ended up becoming a pilot. And he never would have been a pilot with the grades that he had. He would have been probably relegated to checking the pressure in the tires of the jets. And then he goes ahead and he crashes 2 jets. He bailed out of one because he didn't know what side was up in Texas. And then he crashed another one when he bailed out, when he said he lost his engine. And then he almost sank an entire aircraft carrier. Yeah, when he inadvertently dropped his bombs and shot off a couple of rockets when he was on the deck of the aircraft carrier. I don't know how many people died. I should have looked that up, but a lot of people did die. And he was able to roll off the wing and escape the carnage that he sort of caused. And then there was the time that he landed on the Oriskany, I believe it was, with about 200 feet of power line cable hooked to the vertical stabilizer because he was hot dogging and diving down low below the power lines. And this guy's a piece of work. And you know this stuff here that he does like a penguin? Well, he says it was because he was tortured. Now ask yourself a question. If he was tortured, that would be one thing. But see, he caused that condition all himself, because he forgot how to bail out of a jet properly. When he got shot down because he was flying too low and he bailed out, he didn't protect his arms, and the wind blast broke both of his shoulders. Now, he got thrown into a cell after he got stabbed and pulled out of the lake in the middle of Hanoi. They stabbed him, I believe, in the groin area and in his leg. And then they threw him into a cell. He was there for 4 days rotting. No help, no medical attention, nothing. And then the commander of the base found out that his papa was Johnny McCain, the admiral of the entire Pacific Fleet. Now, do you think that they would have tortured McCain, having known that his father was admiral of the entire Pacific Fleet? I sort of don't think they would have tortured him, you know what I mean? No, actually what they did is they rushed him into a hospital, and he had his own female nurse to attend to his wounds. Yeah. And then, as the story goes, and again, I wasn't there, but what information is available, he sang like a bird, which is why he's known as the songbird of the Hanoi Hilton. Yeah, he was never tortured. And although he was offered early release, he didn't accept the early release because the people that did accept early release, well, they were known as pigeons because they sang as well. And with his father being the Admiral of Pacific Fleet, that wouldn't have gone over too well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what I'd like the viewers to do, even if he's not your elected representative, go do some due diligence. Go look up the songbird of the Hanoi Hilton. And after you've done your due diligence, send him a letter letting him know that you know. You know what I mean? I'd like to fill his inbox at the post office with all kinds of mail, letting him know that you know that he wasn't the war hero. He was actually a traitor. As the story goes, he had provided the Viet Cong with the altitudes that they do their bombing runs at. He's even kind enough to give them the radio frequencies that the pilots use on their bomb runs, and the direction of their flights, and the altitudes. And needless to say, a lot of pilots were shot out of the sky because the Viet Cong had all that information in advance. My understanding is that they actually stopped the bombing campaign because they've lost so many pilots. Thanks to Johnny, the war hero. You know, the guy that's the war hero. Huh? Hey, go do your own due diligence and send him a letter. Yeah, don't bother calling him. Black and white's better. Send him a letter letting him know that you know that he's no war hero. He's actually a rhino, which means Republican in name only. That's what he is. He's visited the White House, I don't even know how many times. He's probably catching up to Dougie Shulman, and Dougie set a record at 157. It'd be interesting to see if we could find out how many times the senator from Arizona, you know, yeah, the Maverick. Anyway, check it out for yourself. Let me know what you find. I told you what I found.